It's August and your lavender's trying to tell you something. The flowers are fading. The bees aren't stopping by as often. And most people look at that and assume the season is basically over for this plant. That assumption is wrong, and it's about to cost a lot of gardeners their lavender. Right now, in the next few weeks, there's a single choice that decides whether this plant stays full and blooming for the next 15 or 20 years, or slowly collapses into a woody, hollowed-out shrub within 6. Here's the strange part. Almost nobody gets this choice right, and they fail it in 2 completely opposite ways. But there's one exception almost everyone misses, and it's the reason so many healthy lavenders die from a well-meaning cut. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to check before you ever pick up the shears. So let's answer the question everyone in August is asking. Is this actually the right month to prune? The honest answer is that the calendar matters less than the flowers do. Lavender should be pruned once its main flowering has finished, whenever that happens to land for your particular plant. For a lot of English lavender growing in home gardens, that moment is happening right now. The big lavandin varieties, the ones with those long dramatic flower spikes, are often just wrapping up their first bloom as well. Spanish lavender finished months ago, back in spring, so if that's what you're growing, this conversation already passed you by for the year. Now, here's where most gardeners quietly go wrong, and it's not a lack of effort. It's a plan that sounds responsible but backfires completely. A lot of people tell themselves they'll handle it later, in fall, when the garden slows down. In a moment, I'll show you why that single decision is one of the most damaging mistakes you can make with this plant. Pruning triggers fresh new growth, and that new growth is soft and tender. It needs several weeks of decent weather to toughen up before cold arrives. Wait until late September or October, and you're forcing the plant to grow shoots it will never have time to harden. The first hard frost burns them right off, and the plant heads into winter already weakened. So here's the number that matters more than any date on a calendar. Look up your average first frost, then count backward 6 weeks. That's your real deadline. Miss that window, and it's actually safer to leave the plant alone until late winter. Before you make that cut, there's one thing you need to check first. Because lavender behaves completely differently from almost everything else growing in your yard. And understanding that is what separates a plant that thrives for 20 years from one that dies from a single wrong decision. Lavender isn't quite a shrub, and it isn't quite a soft perennial either. It's something in between, what botanists call a subshrub. The top portion is green, flexible, living growth. The bottom portion is wood, and that wood only gets thicker and taller with age. Here's the part that trips people up. That brown wood is essentially dead ground. Lavender will not reliably send out new growth from a bare woody stem. Cut into it, and nothing comes back. Not this year, not ever. Most shrubs forgive a hard cut. Roses do it. Hydrangeas do it. Lavender does not. So the entire job comes down to one short phrase. Cut the green, never the brown. Everything else in this video is just the details of applying that idea correctly, starting with exactly where and how to make that cut. Prune in the early morning, once the dew has burned off but before the heat sets in. That timing isn't just habit. The fragrant oils are most concentrated in cooler hours, and midday sun evaporates a lot of what you're trying to preserve. Use sharp bypass pruners, the kind that close like scissors rather than crush the stem. Grab a small handful of stems at once rather than working one at a time. Follow each stem down past the spent flowers until you reach a leaf node, a small junction where new growth is already forming, and cut just above it. Take about 1/3 of the plant's overall growth. On larger lavandin varieties, you can go up to half, since they carry so much extra stem length. As you go, shape the plant into a rounded dome rather than a flat top. That shape sheds rain well and keeps the center from splitting open later. Here's the checkpoint that matters most. Look at what remains. If you can still see green on every stem you touched, you did it correctly. In a moment, I'll show you how to tell if a lavender that's already gone, woody, can still be saved. Now, what if your lavender is already past that point? Woody at the base, sparse in the middle, maybe splitting open like a bowl? There's a simple test. Look closely at the woody stems for tiny new shoots emerging directly from the old wood. If you find any, there's still life to work with. If a stem is completely bare with zero new growth anywhere on it, that stem won't come back. The fix isn't a single dramatic cut. It's a slow rebuild over 2 to 3 growing seasons, taking one branch back at a time, always stopping above green growth. Force it all back in one aggressive session, and you'll likely lose the plant outright. One more thing worth knowing while you have the shears out. Don't feed it afterward. Lavender actually prefers poor, lean soil, and nitrogen-heavy fertilizer pushes soft, leafy growth at the expense of flowers. Skip extra watering, too, beyond rainfall and avoid packing mulch against the base. If you garden somewhere warm, the coast, the southern half of the country, Mediterranean climates, this is very likely your window right now. If you're somewhere with short summers and an early frost, deadhead only, and save the real cut for late winter instead. If you remember only one thing from this video, remember this. Find where the green ends and the brown begins. Cut the green, never the brown. Do that every year before your 6-week frost deadline, and your lavender can reward you with beautiful blooms for the next 15 to 20 years. I'll see you in the next one.